Was that too early?
I don't know.
Was it? Oh,
That was alright.
yeah. That's probably better than a clap up. So, mate, we could probably just have a montage of like the start of the podcast every time of us just going,
Yeah, this
like,
whole reel of
more. We'll probably do a remix. So.
Get ready for the ultimate dose of inspiration and knowledge with the Give Me 5 podcast. Host Chris Gilmour shares actionable tips on a different topic each episode. Tune in now and elevate your life with Chris
Hello,
Gilmour.
welcome to another episode of the Give Me 5 podcast. I'm your host, Chris Gilmour, and again, we have Josh Smith with us. Super original name, Josh Smith.
Yep.
Josh,
I always actually, when we're checking people in at open homes, I always like comment when you get someone that's got their actual name.
Yep.
Yeah, like at Gmail, I always say, yeah, Josh Smith was pretty long gone.
you would have been Josh Smith.
Yeah, like
4,400,000
for sure.
at gmail.com.
For sure, for sure.
Mate, so what's our topic? What's happening? What's headline news?
What is headline news? Like, well, I think today we'll go a different direction. And, you know, like always there's celebrity goss and that sort of stuff that we're looking at. But I think that, you know, we might just jump straight into like using that as a thing. And let's talk like property sales and let's talk like celebrity stuff. Tell us a little bit, like who's the biggest celebrity, or you probably maybe can't really give names and things, but tell us a little bit about
What's that we've sold?
that we've dealt with, or you know, some properties that, you know, notable ones.
There's been there's been a few.
That have to be over your 16 years.
Yeah, so probably, and for all different reasons. So like sellers and I won't go really too much into who they are.
Of course.
Just privacy.
Privacy, yeah.
Of course, for those people. But look, we've had obviously NBL players, of course. V8 supercar drivers, current ones. Some pretty old school famous sports stars, you know, back in the day that you and I would have grown up watching on TV as well too, which is kind of cool. You know, like when you're sitting in their lounge room and you're like, you know, and you're a fan of them, it's sort of hard to probably.
Have you got, without giving out any names, have you got any funny stories that you can give it?
Not really, not around probably. No, like we've had Winter Olympians, as well too, music stars, Australian music artists as well too. So I think they all probably reach out for different reasons. Some are, you know, either advice, they're looking at buying, we're selling their properties, or their investments and stuff like that, or they're relocating. So we know that, you know, they're leaving another state. They want to purchase up here. So how can we help them and stuff like that? So I've been pretty lucky in that regard, like having that sort of a circle. Like I don't anywhere near deal in the prestige real estate. You know, I'm guessing if you got some of those boys on, they would, you know, probably have some pretty
Down in the heart of the Gold Coast.
like right in the heart of Goldie or in the Brisbane CBD. You know, like we're in Logan, man. Like come on, you know, where people are packing.
So when you're dealing with those sorts of clients, what do you disclose? Like, do you play off of the fact that if it's someone notable, you know, as an extra level of interest, or what do they ask as more discretion?
Depends on the client. You know what I mean? So like we'll ask the client, like, how far can we take it to, you know, like ultimately the buyer is going to know who that person is when we go to contract.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because their names are stipulated, you know, and it's pretty easy to work out, you know, some famous names.
Stuff,
you know,
in the house in a lot of cases.
Yeah, so sometimes we try and remove them as well too, so we're not playing that game. Sometimes we do and play on it. If they're cool with it, most are actually pretty cool with it. Like they don't really care. To be honest, it's a bit of a talking point for, you know, and sometimes their status also probably helps sell the property too. Like, oh, I just brought so-and-so's home, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, but like, man, I don't think I have really any funny stories around, like they're normal people. They're all respectful. They, you know, they're at the top of their game of what they've done. You know, we're at the top of our game. So, you know, that's why they're engaging you. So No, I don't think there'd be any. None that stand out.
No.
Like one that we did, and it was on the Gold Coast. Like I did like the most wickedest video clip for them because of where it was located.
Yep.
You know, like I can bash around in some jet skis, and you know, we're up in the elevator in our, you know, all wet coming off the beach, and then in a suit, and like we've had some fun.
Yep.
You know, with the video shoots and stuff like that. But no, so like that's some of the clientele, but that's not every day. You know, every day, you know, mums and dads here in Logan. So, but yeah, we do come across a few that have reached out that wants, you know, help and our services. So it's kind of cool. But you know, that's just probably the circle that I'm involved with outside of real estate too.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? These people know these people, and then, you know, so I've got a few connections in the music industry, got a few connections in the motorsport industry, and you know, other sporting codes as well too. And they all reach out to you. You know, they want the advice, because these guys, what you got to understand with these guys, they're so fixated on what they do. Yeah, they don't know about, like,
They're in their own little...
Absolutely. Like they wouldn't even know the first thing around selling a home, or what they could do with a property, or how to buy a property, or you know what I mean.
I bring in the expert, and that's time.
Bring in, absolutely, and just deal with it and get it done. And that's, you know, that's part of the service. That's what we do. So you know, Broncos players, you know, have purchased homes through us, sold properties for them. You know, so yeah, the list goes on. But yeah, nothing that stands out.
So what about in regular people? You know, like you've got...
share how long you got here.
Well, that's...
What do you want to know? What do you want to know, man? Like, we got to be... It's a fine line.
What? Give us an example of a weird sale, or something that was...
Kind of scary. I'll give you a weird one.
Yeah?
I'll give you a weird one, right? I still remember this, right? It was a property in Drewville.
Yeah.
Right. So which
has been your core area.
Yeah. For the last 16 years. Right. And I've sold a lot of agents' homes. So other real estate agents get me to sell their own home, which I think is ludicrous.
It's hilarious.
It like multiple times. It's crazy. Like it'll be more than what I could count. Right. I don't get it. Anyway, sometimes they probably just don't want to be a part of that process. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
that's bizarre.
This one particular client was a real estate agent, a competitor, and I thought I was just being led on here, like they just want to see what we do or whatever. But no, they were legitimately moving back overseas, and probably didn't want to cause any angst in their office by not using an agent in their office. So they went, you know, you're the expert, you're in the area, you've got the buyers,
and I'm out of here anyway,
and I'll go and so sell it. So I still know who the people are. I still remember the house, everything. But it was just so fun. Like as a real estate agent, you understand the process. Buyers walk through, they open up everything, they look at everything.
Yeah.
And then you go to contract, and then you got valuation, you got finance, and you got building and pest. Yeah. Right. So people are coming to their home. Stuff. Anyway, so we sold the home, went to contract, and we get to the building and pest, right? And they leave as normal. We're there doing the building inspection with the inspector. And I hear this, "Oi, Chris." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And here's our mate with his head popping out of the manhole. He's like, "Mate." The inspector. Yeah. Right, the building inspector. He's like, "Mate, you might want to have a look at this." And I'm like, "Mate, 1, I hate ladders. 2, I hate heights. And 3, there is no way.
It's a roof cavity.
I am not going in a roof cavity in a home that is directly across from bushland. Yeah. Like, because of the snakes. Like, the 3 things I hate: snakes, ladders, and height. Right? So you ain't getting me up there. I was like, "What's up?" And he goes, "Mate, has he got a side hustle, this person?" And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, "Well, what is he doing?" I said, "Oh, he's a real estate agent." He goes, "Well, he must be making money other ways." And I'm like, instantly, I'm like, all right, what's he got up there? Anyway, the idiot forgot, like, obviously he was growing. No. And he had this whole setup.
Oh, like a hydro setup.
Yeah, all in the roof, right? And the dickhead has left it all there. Building inspectors come, and like, here it is. Like, for like crazy shit. Like, it was probably more than what the home was worth at that time. I don't know. Like, is that just not bizarre? Like, would you just not, like,
harvest it, whatever.
Just
Like get rid of it. Get rid of it.
I don't care what.
Especially if you leave. Especially if you're leaving, you're selling the house. Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, like don't leave it for the next owner. Like, I just.
Wow, was all their like furniture and stuff still in it?
Yeah, they were living in the home, but obviously he had this drug lab or something growing. Like I don't know what you do, or like I didn't look at it, right? But yeah, he had all plants. There was water.
Did you mention it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what did they say?
So we sort of had to like I can't remember what the discussion was with the we obviously didn't want it in the report.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the building inspector, he goes like, end of the day, man, it's none of my business what's in the home. I have to report just on the home. And I was like, good, just report that. So I rang the client and I just said, look, dude, like obviously you're on drugs because you left your drugs in the house, man. Like this is nuts. So like that still I think is just one of the most bizarre. I could tell you, man, I honestly could write a book. Like of who we've sold for, like my scariest side. I can talk about this one. Yeah, because he's dead.
I think I know a bit of this one.
Yeah, like again, it was in Druva. Like, there's nothing wrong with Druva.
Well, you lived in Druva for a long time.
I lived in Druva for 10 years myself. But it's if you don't think these things are happening in your suburb,
they happen everywhere.
You're naive, right? It's the nice home that looks normal. Like it just you wouldn't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen enough of those homes. Like Greenbait's really bad for drug homes, right? Because I've got the
big open space. It's nice and secluded spot.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't care what people do. That's on them, mate. Like I don't touch them. Never have. Never will. I'm not in that space.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing, okay. Yeah, that's what sell your home, man. You know what I mean? I had this one home, and we sort of knew what was going on, right? It was pretty obvious what was going on. It's pretty obvious to work it out, right? Like normal home, security everywhere. And the neighbors always say, because I'm pretty entrenched in the area where I knew everyone, right? So the neighbors were like, cars coming and going all during the day, all during the night. Like, you know what's probably happening, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, the owners at the time, it was the dude and, well, let's call him John. That's his name, common name. And his missus. And they split, right? And he was a bit of a hothead, right? And I could tell that. And he's like, Chris, just want to sell my home. Gonna get out. Missus is gone. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Whatever. All right. Anyway, did what we do. Put it to the market. Kept in touch. Did our whole thing. Right?
He was still in the home?
He was still in the home. So, the garage was all boarded up with extra staff. And like, it was clear as day what he was doing. Anyway, these guys, they just don't try and hide the fact. Anyway, we got to a point where we got an offer, right? And because it's a separation, you've got to ring both parties. I rang him to let him know, hey, we've received this offer. Went to voicemail. I said, John, give me a call back. Got an offer, just want to discuss with you. In the meantime, I've called the ex, the other partner who's on the title of the home, right? Which I have to, right? So I've rung her and said, hey, look, just letting you know, she answered. So we're talking about the offer, and she's like, that's great, we'll accept. Okay, cool. By the time that, and then I got off the phone, probably made another 3 phone calls. Then I get the call back from John.
Yep.
Going off his brain. He's screaming, yelling at me, using all the swear words you possibly can. And I remember he said to me, he goes, Chris, remember I know where you live. And I'll come around and I'm going to break your kneecaps. Right? Now,
what was his problem?
Because I rang the missus and spoke to the missus first.
When you couldn't get a hold of him?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he thought I was undermining him or trying to go underneath.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, John. So I hung up, right? Because I don't let anyone talk to me like that. And then obviously he keeps calling. I sent him a text to say, mate, when you
call down,
we will talk. Right now, not talking, right? Yeah. And I think that fueled him even more.
Yeah.
Right? To be honest, looking back at it. But like, everyone knew where I lived. Because I lived in the area. I lived in Truval.
Yeah.
You know, people would see me mowing the lawn, washing the car, my car's out the front, it's fully stickered. Everyone knew, right?
Yeah.
And when he said, mate, I know where and live. I'm going to come around and go break your kneecaps, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, this dude means business. Right? Anyway, we got around all that, and the home sold. He moved. Off he goes. New people move in, still live there today. It was how long ago now? 4, 5 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
I get a phone call from the buyers that brought that home and moved in. He's like, Chris, are you watching the news right now? And I'm like, nah, dude, don't watch the news. He's like, you know who we brought the home off? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, mate, he's on the run. And I'm like, what do you mean? Anyway, chuck on, do a bit of research. Turns out, John, murdered this girl. He was a drug dealer, obviously, which I sort of knew. But there was this girl who was murdered, and he
not the partner, not the
this is years down the track. But the guy who we just sold the home, who we sold the home for 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And he'd murdered this young girl, put her in a barrel and dumped her in a dam or something out the back near Yatla or something. Right. It was somewhere out Pimpama towards the Gold Coast somewhere.
Okay.
No, I don't know too much of that story. And then apparently he was getting they chased him, or they knew where he was or something. There was this big high-speed chase all through Brisbane, and then he took refuge at a hotel somewhere. Someone hostage somewhere, and anyway, they got him. And yeah, went to jail. That was my seller.
Right. Did
He murdered someone, man. And he threatened me, to break my kneecap. So I was probably lucky.
He was capable of it.
Mate, it turned out that absolutely he was. So
yeah.
Now someone's got him in jail. So he's been killed in jail. Right? So yeah, someone got him. Yeah. So I know that. So
you're not going to end up with a problem.
No. So I joke about it. There's only ever one number I've deleted out of my phone.
Yeah, right.
It was his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not coming back.
Oh, I'd never dealing with him again. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you want so that was fairly early in my real estate career. But I was not the age I am now. I probably would have looked at it a little bit differently now. But yeah, that's the dude was capable.
Maybe it's like some of those, I might let this one go.
Absolutely, man. But that was one of my sellers.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known. It wasn't until
So how did the buyer know that? Because it was a bit
recognized him because they had his mug on TV. So when he's been to the home or something, he's seen him at some point going, hey, that's that guy.
Yeah.
And whatever his name was, So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, full on. But I've sold drug homes, so murderers.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people cheat. A lot of divorcing, obviously.
We do see a lot. And we do see a lot of separation and breakups and stuff.
But the funny ones, when one of the partners is sleeping with a neighbor, you see the Desperate Housewives shit, that it was on TV. It's that shit is real. You know what I mean? I love when we walk into a home and they're like, why are you looking at me? We're looking at just upgrading because we want to get closer to it. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
A normal seller. This should be easy. You know what I mean? But suicide. Yeah. There was this one case, and I still remember. There's certain ones that I think stick with you.
Yeah.
It was a home. It was on acreage, and she rang the girlfriend rang and said, look, we need to sell the home. I always ask the questions, why are we selling? What are we doing? What are our goals, achievements? What are you trying to get out of it? Blah, blah, blah. Look, my partner has killed himself in the home.
Inside the home?
In the home.
Yeah.
And don't want the home. I'm moving back to family down interstate, stuff like that. And I'm like, so you really feel for it? You know what I mean? I'm like, that's fine. I can handle it. I'll take care of it all.
Yeah.
Because it was really early and really fresh, we had to ask for the death certificate as well. So, I've not seen too many. I've seen my dad's death certificate, and I've seen some clients, but this one in particular was, it stated as they do, it states their name, their age, occupation. He was a concreter. He was 26. Right. Beautiful home. First home. And then cause of death. And he hung himself.
Does it say suicide or
No, it says something. Yeah, I don't know how the
there's a
clinical term for it. That one for me, that hurt. Like seeing that. My neighbor did the same as well too. So everyone, I think, has this misconception around real estate that like we're in these glamorous homes, glamorous situations, and like, and it's just bullshit money. We all drive around in Mercedes. Like we actually do see some shit that a lot of people wouldn't see that we actually have to deal with. I've got the amount of court battles, court orders. And I'm reading these court orders and it's like, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. This is what's happening with the kids. No, you're not getting like, it's, 80% of our job is amazing. The 20% is just shit.
There's some rough stuff.
Like there really is. And I think, you have really good days, you have bad days. Like, and every agent will experience this. You know what I mean? So it is refreshing when we walk into a normal person's home and it's a normal circumstance and stuff. But mate, I honestly could write a book around the stories and what people do in their homes.
It's not all selling sons.
It's not, man. And I think if people understood that, like we're humans and we're going back to our families, and wife says, "Oh, how was your day?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had to deal with this one today," or and stuff like that.
Sometimes it's easier to say just a day.
I just like normal, man.
I think that's probably my code when I go home. If there's something you go, look, just don't need to bother rehashing, said just a day.
Yeah. So, mate, so there's some pretty crazy stories. Yep. Have you got any crazy stories?
No, you're pretty boring, aren't you?
I'm the lucky one.
So I've had a pretty good run, like nothing too crazy.
Yep.
So but plenty tight.
Okay.
Plenty tight.
All right, well, we'll finish up there. So there you go, guys. There's another episode of the Give Me 5 podcast, and there you go. Real estate, it's not always glamorous like you might see on the TV.
No, it's not.
Thanks for listening.
We do get to sit around and make a podcast for a little bit. No, there is that.
That's still work. This has worked. Anyway, I'm Chris Gilmour from All Property Scoop. Josh Smith.
Say out.
Thanks for listening.